Tea! Does it look better like this, or does it look better like top behind my ear? I need a haircut. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I had this idea a little while ago and I haven't been sure whether or not to actually use it. I searched it on YouTube and I didn't think it was going to be a thing because reading fanfictions about yourself is a thing, but obviously I don't have any fans. So I decided, okay, so I'll read some fanfiction that I wrote in the past, and it's not good. I've been debating whether or not to do this because it's like, I've tried so hard to hide this from people I know in real life, but I thought it's so relatable, isn't it? So hashtag relatable. And everyone at some point in their life has been a fangirling teenager. You've written fanfiction, okay? I know you have. You've read it. You know, I've always wanted to be a writer, and since I was younger I've always written and always been into writing, always writing stories. And fanfiction was something that allowed me to do that and get feedback on my writing. At first it started off as a love for the characters and the shipping and even the real life people that I wrote fanfictions about. Then it kind of turned into me practicing my writing skills, and I really wish I could get back into it because it's so good to write, but I want to write my own original stories now and try to kind of steer away from fanfiction. I know that there are people out there that have written fanfictions and they've been published. 50 Shades. They've had loads of success and I really love getting feedback from people on there and stuff, and now I'm rambling. Good one. Please don't judge me for this. I used to ship people, gay couples mainly. Okay, straight girls do that, it's fine. I am so nervous about this. I'm not going to read any scenes that I wrote that were like smut. If you don't want to know what smut is, Google it. I can't believe I wrote scenes like that. Where at that age I was just writing from other dirty fanfictions I'd read. And it's disgusting. Also, disclaimer, most of my fanfictions are really depressing and dark, and I don't want anyone to think that I'm like depressed. Back in the day when I was writing these, I was not in a good place, and this was how I expressed my feelings, and it is really, really dark. Don't be concerned, I'm fine now, I'm good, I'm happy. What was that? Some of it was based on my feelings from the time, and some of it was not written from my point of view as my character, so you can guess what's me and what's not, but you'll never know. Please don't try and look me up, by the way, because I really don't want people reading my stuff. The first one, I'm not going to say what it's called. So this was just one chapter, it was a one-shot story. My idea came to me, I remember I was sitting in bed and I was listening to Avril Lavigne, Remember When, her song. And I had all this imagery in my head of a story. So I applied it to these two characters that I was obsessed with. Well, they're not even characters, they're real musicians. Okay, so I'm just going to confess here, this is really scary. This was written about Frank Iero and Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance, and I used to read a lot of fanfictions of them together. I never thought that they were actually gay for each other. I just liked reading fanfictions of them too, okay? I just did. I just liked it. It's so dramatic, so I'm going to read like the first couple paragraphs and I think that'll be it, because it's just too embarrassing, honestly. This is such a bad idea, this is making me so nervous. Ugh. His eyes were filled with tears as he turned towards me, and my heart felt as though it had been torn into a million pieces as I looked into his eyes and saw how broken he was. His lip quivered slightly, his eyes scanned mine as if looking for something he wished he could find. My chest prevented me from breathing as I took in his heartbroken expression, an expression that would be forever etched into my mind. So you can kind of tell that like none of my stories were happy, like ever. I felt no sympathy for the man before me. He had betrayed me, broken my heart. His face glistened with the tears he had shed, his eyes bloodshot. His hair was ruffled like he had been in bed for the last week, his clothes creased. He wore a tight leather jacket and tight black skinny jeans. His Converses were covered in mud, turning them a sickly brown. I felt a lump in my throat as he stepped closer to me. His eyes were now filled, and his face was completely serious. He looked as though he would never be happy again, and I desperately wanted to wipe that look from his face forever. So I'm not going to read any more from that one, but you can kind of get the gist of how my stories were. It ends quite tragically, this one, from what I can remember. I always ended them on sad endings because I was like, I hate happy ending books, they're so unrealistic. Nothing ends happy, la la la, I'm emo. I'm going to read you a few of the comments from this. I didn't realise this story was quite old. I know the feeling. I just got back to writing after a long hiatus and it's a bit scary when writer's block hits. You should definitely keep writing. Oh yeah, I always go through really long periods of writer's block, like sometimes for even a year. While I'm not into MCR or Ferrod, That's Gerald Way and Frank together. This story is lovely. I really like the concept using song lyrics as dialogue. It's something hard to pull off, but you did it very well. You also painted a very believable picture of their breakup, which isn't as easy as people think. There's a lot of raw emotion in this. It's amazing. Good job, young writer. I actually still read these comments sometimes and it inspires me to write. It just makes me happy when people enjoy this stuff. Not much of a fan of Ferrard's stories, but the beginning of the story makes me want to know what happened here. But is he sorry because he cheated, or because he got caught? That's something hard to differ between sometimes. I think it's a good idea to add song lyrics into a story. Is a good idea. Okay, her writing's not the best. Oh my goodness, you totally took me by surprise. I can't lie. That was not at all my sort of thing, but I was instantly enthralled just by the first paragraph. I do love the song though, and I love the continuous references all the way through. Why am I so out of breath? How you separated it with italics, it made it a lot easier to read, and you gave a good layout. Really good. I'm going to read one more comment just because this one's really long and I like it. I was not expecting this to be so dramatic. In a good way though. This honestly reminds me of my last relationship. Wow, that's really empathetic and sad to say, but it's true. I won't go into that though. Oh, that's really bad. This is like a story about them cheating and then they get into a car accident or something, I think. I'm not sure. I think one of them dies, but I can't remember. Whatever emotion you were feeling when you were listening to that song, it really came through to your audience from you writing and all the different flashbacks. There's a moment in this that I remember personally, and it's seeing someone's shoulders slump in defeat. I hate it, I really do. It's like they're giving up on you. They know it's over, but they still don't try for you. It's at that moment that I truly loathe them. See, a lot of my readers would say shit like that and say that it really related to my writing, and I was like, damn, really? Really? I'm gonna go on to the next one. Okay, so the next one is a Harry Potter story. From what I can remember, this was really bad and I ditched it quite early on. I actually can't remember what this is about. Ah, this is interesting. So you know Harry Potter and the Cursed Child came out. This is my summary. Albus Severus Potter is finding it hard to live up to his father at Hogwarts. Sound familiar? He's worried about what house he will be in. Will he make any friends? Will he be as good at magic as his father? Will Albus be able to prove that he's truly Harry's son? Dear God, does that not sound like the Cursed Child? I am J.K. Rowling. Bow. Okay, so it's only got 4 chapters and I understand why, because this was shit. Albus Severus Potter followed close behind James, his older brother, who was only a year older than him. Just in front of James stood his younger sister Lily, holding his mother's hand. His father stood behind him, pushing Albus's cart with him. On this cart was a cage with a medium-sized ferret inside, and next to that lay a suitcase with the initials ASP printed in golden letters. Albus had named his pet Harry, of course, after his father. Albus looked up to his father more than anyone, even more than his mother. He was always there for him. They felt he could tell him anything. They passed the busy platform where the train had just pulled up. Albus couldn't help but notice that almost everyone had their eyes on his father. He never quite understood why people looked at him that way, although his parents had explained his father's past on more than one occasion. He knew his parents' entire life story about how they had helped destroy Lord Voldemort in the Great Battle of Hogwarts, and even the story of the Chamber of Secrets in their second year. At first these stories had scared Albus. Hogwarts seemed to be full of dangerous beasts and places where his parents had been at school, and if it was anything like that now, then Albus wasn't sure he'd like it there. But Albus couldn't deny the spark he saw in his parents' eyes whenever they spoke of Hogwarts, and they would always refer to it as home. His father had described it as the most beautiful and magical place in the world, where anyone was welcome. So basically this is just a continuation from 19 years forward. I'll read a few of these comments to you. I'm sorry I don't do Harry Potter, it's not you, it's Harry. Scum. I did skim through this and I saw that it was really well written and very descriptive. I can't read. Just to say, your writing style doesn't make me want to kill myself. Like some people's fanfics on here. It's actually very good despite the fact that I have no clue of who any of these people are. How do you... No. I don't know who Harry Potter is. Goodbye. I'm from Comment Swap. I like rock music. So it's known I'm not a Potterhead. What the fuck? Why are you clicking on this? Oh, from Comment Swap. Comment Swap was where you could like read each other's stories and give feedback in return, but you actually had to read the story, like otherwise you'd get reported. I've seen one movie and that was Chamber of Secrets. Anyways, I think the moving layout is a bit distracting. I was watching it for a minute before I even glanced at the story. It's a good picture, just don't make it move. Yeah, that's a good point. Now I kind of just do plain backgrounds because I don't really give a shit about them. I've only had the chance to read the first chapter at the moment, and to be honest, I already love it. This is the first time I've come across an ASP fanfic, and I just love the idea of seeing his first year at Hogwarts. I think you've done a very good job of setting up the characters, and I'm excited to see which houses they'll all get sorted into. I'm trying to think of what kind of misadventures they're going to get into and who the villain's going to be this time. I enjoyed this so far, and I will definitely subscribe and come back and read more when I get the chance. Great job, and look forward to reading more. Do you know what? I'm going to see what houses I sorted them into, if I did. Well, I even made up a new Sorting Hat song, but I'm not going to read that. I'm really glad. Albus crossed his fingers. All he could think was, please be in Gryffindor. Slytherin, cried the hat, and a huge applause came from the Slytherin table. Scorpius didn't look too pleased, but he smiled at them nevertheless. Albus tried to grab his attention, but he didn't even glance at him. Would they be able to be friends at all now? Wait, I think I sorted Scorpius into Gryffindor. Oh no, this is Scorpius. Oh, that was Scorpius. Scorpius just got sorted into Slytherin. And then the girl next to him says, too bad, I saw you talking to him earlier. He seemed really nice. Oh, see, I had the same idea that, like, people were going to be shitty about Slytherin still in the future. Oh. And Albus says, yeah, well, he can still be a nice person, can't he? True. Oh, I sorted Albus into Gryffindor. Damn, that's a shock. I would have sorted him into Slytherin. What the fuck is this? Did I write this? And his new friend Ellie gets sorted into Hufflepuff, and Rose goes into Gryffindor, which I think she did in Cursed Child too. So it was quite close. You know, not bad. I wrote another Harry Potter one and another Gerard Way fanfiction. So I'm going to read another Frank and Gerard one that is really depressing, and I'm not sure about sharing this one because I wrote it very personal. And I'm just going to read the first chapter and you'll understand what was going through my head at the time. Something made me want to write something like this, and it was very dark, and I'm sorry. This is my most viewed and subscribed to and read story. People still read it and ask for more, and I do want to write more, but every time I go to, I'm in a happy place now, so I'm like not able to. I just can't. I have to be able to draw from my own emotions when I write. This is a very depressing story, I'm sorry. This was meant to be a funny video idea. What is the meaning of life? Well, that's a question that's been asked since the beginning of time, and a question which has never been given an answer. I've pondered over this question only a few times in my life, and every time I've tried to draw a conclusion that makes sense and that's reassuring, I've ended up starting from the beginning, all over again. I was having a bit of an why can't I talk? Existential crisis. The truth is, everyone wants to believe that the answer is a good one. That someday there will be a reason for everyone's suffering. No one likes to admit that someday they aren't going to exist anymore, that their lives are virtually pointless. Yeah, this is a really cheery fanfic. I hope you like it. You aren't going to remember your life when you're gone. All your memories, interests, friends, family, music tastes, everything will be gone. Back to how it was before you were born. Nothingness.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never.
Why so negative, you ask? Yes, why so negative, please? I once believed there was a reason for life, that when my time came, I'd go to a better place. I'd never been too religious, but I had believed that everything would work out in the end. That had been until I'd lost the most important person in my life. So you can guess the kind of plot this is. It's a love story, tragic, la la la, someone dies. I don't want to read any more than that one. No. Really depressing, and I'm so not going to read the rest of that ever, because I don't think that shows who I am anymore, and if it's a very personal story, and I put it up on the internet for other people that don't know me to read, and so that I could feel, so that it was like therapy. I would go to this website and I would post my feelings in a fiction story, and I always had the idea that it was going to end sad, and then when I started to feel happy again, I wanted to end it happy, but then I was like, no, I've got to stick to this sad plot. And I still am trying to end it because this is one that I actually really love. It's a very depressing story, and if you're going to read it, no, I wouldn't recommend it, so please don't try and find it. I'll read you some comments and you'll get a feel of what it's like. I think you do a good job here. You pull the writer in and make them really think, in my opinion, and the layout of the story totally goes with it, which really sets the mood. It's clear the main character is in a lot of pain, and as for the needing to write a depressing story, if that's what you need to do, then do it. Yeah, I used to leave little author's notes at the end and be like, sorry, I'm feeling depressed, this is what I'm writing. And yeah, people don't judge you on the internet. First, amazing writing, really exceptional. What makes a story for me in general is within the first chapter. Shallow, I know, but that's what I want. I try not to waste my time. Well, my first piece of advice is simple: break up your paragraphs, sentences a little more. See, this is what I love. They would always teach me things as well about writing, and then I could kind of... Why am I so out of breath? conversations ring really true to me. Like, I've had a few conversations pretty much almost word for word with some people. You're great there. And the writing / imagination in and of itself is exceptional and has so much potential to grow in some really amazing ways. And thank you for writing. These people, so nice. You're one of the only people who can make me cry with just your words, and personally I hardly ever cry, so for me to shed a tear, that's a major achievement. So congratulations on being as awesome as to inspire tears, and please update as soon as you are able. And don't worry, this chapter is perfecto. So I'm not going to read any more of them. This video was supposed to be really funny, and then I realised all I write is depressing stuff. So if you enjoyed this video, please first of all do not go stalk me on any writing websites. I would appreciate it if you didn't, just because I don't want people to think that I have issues when I don't. I'm fine, I'm good. I was a teenager, angst, upset. You can give this comment a like, you can subscribe, you can turn on your notifications, and I will see you next time in the next video. I'm sorry this was so boring and not as fun as I expected it to be. I wanted this to be fun. I'm so sorry I'm so emo. I'm so sorry, but hopefully you can relate to this, because everyone writes fanfiction.